They say there's a place where dragons once soared, not in fairy tales, but in whispered memories that still echo through the rooftops. A place where dusk doesn't just fall, it lingers, like a story unfinished. I stood there once, hearing a bell with no source, feeling the air thicken with silence that carried centuries. It didn't feel like a visit. It felt like coming home to something I never knew I'd lost. This isn't about sightseeing. It's about standing where time folds in on itself, where every stone and shadow tells a story the modern world forgot. Yellow Crane Tower. Perched high above the Yangtze River, this ancient tower doesn't just offer a view, it offers perspective. More than just bricks and beams, it's a living memory, standing where history chose to look out over the water. Originally built in the year 223, it has been rebuilt multiple times, each version carrying the hopes, stories, and struggles of its era. But no matter how it changed, one thing remained: its role as a beacon for poets, wanderers, and anyone searching for something beyond the horizon. From its highest floor, the river below doesn't just flow, it stretches like a timeline, pulling your thoughts across centuries. The golden rooftops seem to shimmer not from the sun, but from the countless legends woven into its walls. It's a place where emperors once stood, where verses were written in longing, and where modern travelers now pause, not just to take photos, but to feel small in the best possible way. And when you walk back down, the wind feels different, like it's carrying more than air, like it's carrying stories, maybe even yours. Yangtze River Cableway. It begins with a soft jolt, the kind that tells you you're about to leave solid ground. Below, the Yangtze River winds like a sleeping dragon, steady and ancient. Above, the city breathes. Towers, rooftops, and time stacked on top of one another. This isn't just a cable car, it's a moving memory. For decades, it's carried locals across the river, not for thrills, but for life. Workers heading to jobs, children riding home, lovers stealing glances as steel glides through mist. And yet, as the city below rushes on, something strange happens up here. Everything slows down. You notice the silence between the cables, the stories in the shadows. The river that once divided now connects in midair. It's only a few minutes long, but those minutes stretch. They stay with you long after your feet return to the ground. Sometimes, all it takes is a slow ride above the ordinary to remember how extraordinary this place really is. Jinfo Mountain. They call it the Mountain of Golden Buddha, but the gold here isn't in temples or statues. It's in the light, the way it breaks through clouds at sunrise, the way it stains the mist with warmth on the coldest mornings. Rising to over 2,200 meters above sea level, this limestone giant stretches across southern Chongqing like a stone sentinel. Climbing it isn't about reaching the top. It's about disappearing into something older than time. The forest thickens around you like it's trying to remember your name. The cliffs, steep and dramatic, rise like forgotten monuments. And somewhere in that silence, you begin to hear the rhythm of the mountain itself. Steady, slow, sacred. With more than 100 karst caves and countless cliffs and ridges, this mountain isn't just a place, it's a living library. The air here is cooler, the clouds move slower, and the idea of hurry vanishes with each step. You don't conquer Jinfo Mountain, you listen to it. You let it teach you something you didn't know you were looking for. And when you descend, everything feels louder, except your thoughts. Those are quieter, calmer, and somehow clearer than ever. Wulong, Karst National Geology Park. It begins with a narrow trail, and then suddenly the land opens beneath your feet. Here the ground has been sculpted not by hands, but by time and water. Towering above are 3 stone bridges, each more massive than the last. Nature's answer to architecture. They don't just connect cliffs, they connect centuries. This park, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, isn't just a marvel of geology. It's the place where silence has weight, and scale humbles you without effort. And then, beneath it all, lies Furong Cave. Inside, every stalactite drips with age. Every color on the wall looks like a frozen whisper. You step into darkness and find something sacred. Wulong doesn't show off, it reveals, slowly, deliberately, like a memory returning just when you need it most. And when you finally step out, sunlight feels brighter. Once you've seen the world from deep within its bones, the surface never looks the same again. People's Liberation Monument. Some memories don't need to be spoken, they just need a place to stay. In the heart of a city that never slows down, there stands a column, simple in shape, but heavy with memory. They say an old soldier once came here every year, wearing his original uniform. He'd stand at the base, hand over heart, eyes closed, not for photos, not for attention, but to whisper a name. No one ever heard it. And then he'd leave, always before the crowds returned. Built to honor China's victory in the War of Resistance against Japan, this 27.5-meter monument isn't just made of stone. It's made of silence, of lives that once held the line when cities were burning and futures uncertain. But the city didn't freeze with it. Around the monument rose a new Chongqing. Electric, vertical, alive. Shopping malls, LED billboards, luxury towers. And yet this column remains untouched, like a spine of truth in a city constantly reinventing itself. Most people walk past it, a few glance up, fewer still pause. But if you do, if you stand there long enough, you might hear what that old soldier whispered. Baotu Spring Park. There's a pool in Shinan where water doesn't just bubble, it leaps. Baotu Spring isn't just beautiful, it's alive. Fed by underground pressure, its jets rise with such strength they once made emperors pause. In fact, Emperor Qianlong himself called it the finest spring under heaven. And if you stand beside it today, you'll understand why. They say a young scholar once came here, heartbroken and broke, and sat beside the spring for hours. He wrote poems into the steam, let his tears mix with the water, and walked away, without ever returning. Years later, his verses were found etched into the stone pavilion, a quiet reminder that some emotions only flow freely near moving water. Around the spring, the park whispers with willows, old pavilions, and echoes of classical music played on hidden radios. It feels less like a tourist site, more like a breathing poem. And when you cup the water in your hands, clear, cold, ancient, it feels like the spring is remembering you too. Here, even water holds memory, and some places don't refresh you, they restore you. Shandong Museum. What if you could touch time, not through a machine, but through a doorway lined with memories? Inside the Shandong Museum, the largest in the province, the past doesn't sit quietly behind glass. It surrounds you, from ancient pottery shaped by hands 4,000 years gone, to towering stone tablets that once stood in imperial courts. Every corridor is a conversation with time. They say a father once brought his daughter here every year on her birthday, not for cake, but to show her one artifact each visit and tell her why it mattered. "So you'll always know where you come from," he'd say. By the time she turned 18, she didn't just know history. She felt rooted in it. With over 200,000 relics, including calligraphy from Confucius's homeland and ceramics from the Ming Dynasty, the museum is more than a collection. It's a map of memory, crafted with care, preserved with purpose. And as you leave, you might find your pace has slowed, just a little, as if your own story has stretched a bit further back. What's one artifact from your own life you'd preserve forever? Let us know below. Guiyuan Temple. There are places that quiet the world, and others that quiet you. Tucked away in Wuhan's old quarters, Guiyuan Temple has watched centuries pass in silence. Its walls have survived war, dynasties, and the rise of concrete towers. But step through its gates, and time no longer hurries. The air thickens with incense, stone lions guard the stillness, and somewhere in the courtyard, a monk sweeps leaves with the care of someone cleaning memory. Inside the Great Hall, the Buddha doesn't look at you. He looks through you. The scent of old wood, the rhythm of chimes. It's not for show. It's the kind of peace you don't visit. It's the kind you remember. They say if you close your eyes in the meditation garden, you might hear the echo of sutras sung 200 years ago, not in sound, but in air, in stillness. Would you sit for a moment and just breathe if no one was watching? Ulaanbaatar. You don't expect silence in a capital city, and yet here it is. Ulaanbaatar isn't loud, it listens. Between Soviet blacks and golden temples, between high-speed traffic and monks in saffron robes, this city doesn't pull you in, it waits for you to meet it halfway. At Sukbatar Square, you'll find a statue of a warrior, motionless yet defiant, facing the wind as if Mongolia's story has never really ended. Behind him, the parliament gleams with glass and steel, and beyond that, the hills roll like frozen waves of grass. A traveler once said they came here chasing Genghis Khan, but what they found was something softer. A grandmother pouring tea from a battered kettle in a street stall, and a teenage boy in sneakers lighting incense at Gondan Monastery. Ulaanbaatar isn't one city, it's two eras walking side by side, quietly. If you had one moment to time travel through culture, would you choose the warrior's roar or the monk's silence? Tell us below. Gorkhi-Terelj National Park. They say the wind here speaks in hooves, and silence isn't quiet, it's powerful. Only 37 kilometers from the buzz of Ulaanbaatar, the road bends towards something ancient. And then suddenly, there it is. Granite cliffs sculpted like frozen waves, rolling grasslands that stretch until the sky forgets where it ends, and valleys so wide they could swallow sound. Here, the rules change. You don't check your phone, you check your saddle. You ride into the valley, not to get somewhere, but to feel something. A herder leads you past Turtle Rock. He doesn't speak much. But at sunset, when the fire crackles inside the round felt jur, he sings. No lyrics, just old notes passed down through throat and breath and blood. Later, you hike up the cliffs and spot a lone eagle circling below. And for a moment, just one, you forget what year it is. They say one night in Terelj can reset your soul. Maybe it's the stars, or maybe it's what happens when the world finally stops talking. Karakorum. They built an empire from horseback, and its heart still beats in the steppe. Karakorum was never just a city. It was the nerve center of a world that stretched from the Pacific to the Danube. Here, under the watch of Genghis Khan's shadow, diplomats from Persia, artisans from China, scholars from the Islamic world, all walked the same earth. Today, the city is quiet, but walk its ruins and the silence hums. The stones still hold the echo of hoofbeats. The Erdene Monastery, built from the very ruins of the ancient palace, rises in serene defiance, its white stupas glowing against the grasslands. Inside, monks chant the same verses spoken centuries ago, as if time dared not interrupt. A traveler once knelt beside a broken wall and whispered, "So this is where the world once bent its knee." If you could visit the ghost of an empire, not to conquer, but to listen, would you go? Share one word you'd leave behind in the wind. Kunming City. What if there was a place where spring never left? Kunming doesn't dazzle you with height. It lingers. The kind of city where tea takes longer to pour, conversations stretch past sunset, and the breeze always feels like it's come from a mountain you haven't climbed yet. Locals call it the City of Eternal Spring, not because of weather apps, but because time softens here. You stroll by Jinfo Lake, watching clouds curl around distant hills. Or step into Yoliin Temple, where koi flicker in ancient ponds, like memories refusing to fade. And when you pass by markets filled with the chatter of 26 ethnic groups, you don't just hear language. You hear layers of story, flavor, and rhythm. A woman once said, "I came to Kunming for 3 days. I stayed for 3 years, and I never felt the season change." If your soul had a season, what would it be? And could you find it in Kunming? Let us know below. Yoliin Am Canyon. How does a glacier survive in the middle of the desert? In southern Mongolia, where dunes roll endlessly like golden tides, there's a crack in the earth where nature flips the script. Yoliin Am, the valley of the Yol, carves deep into the Gobi, hiding ice where there should be fire. You step in, expecting heat, but the deeper you go, the cooler it gets, until finally, there it is, ancient ice, sleeping quietly beneath canyon walls, even in midsummer. Above, lammergei's, the bone-eating vultures, glide silently, guardians of a place that doesn't follow rules. Locals say the ice never truly melts, only dreams beneath the stones. Herders speak of spirits that protect the gorge, and some swear the wind speaks, if you listen long enough. A traveler once left behind a scarf on a rock, not as a marker, but a thank you for reminding her that contradiction is beauty. Some landscapes don't ask to be explained, they ask to be felt. Let this canyon be one of them. Yulong Snow Mountain. They say the mountain remembers every footstep. Rising, like a frozen dragon guarding the skies, Yulong Snow Mountain is more than a peak. It's a legend, woven into the bones of the Yangtze people. The air thins as you ascend by cable car, the horizon widening into a canvas of endless white. At 4,506 meters above sea level, you're not just above the clouds, you're in a realm where myths breathe. According to folklore, the mountain is the embodiment of a war god, frozen in time to watch over the valley. Its 13 jagged peaks aren't just snow and stone, they're spine and spirit. As you stand on the glacier, heart pounding not just from altitude but awe, the silence around you isn't empty. It listens. It holds stories of lovers, warriors, and sky gods, of locals who come not to conquer, but to reconnect. And when you descend, you carry a little of that stillness inside you, like snow that melts slower because it knows it once touched the heavens. Some places don't just change your view, they change the way your heart beats. Tianmu Shan, Mount Tianmu. Tianmu Shan, Mount Tianmu. What if the mountain was not just a place, but a doorway? In the heart of Zhejiang, Tianmushan whispers stories of an ancient world. Here, the air is thick with the scent of ginkgo trees, some more than 1,000 years old. As you hike through East Tianmu's bamboo forests, time feels like it slows. The rustle of leaves, the hum of the wind, they're the only sounds. And suddenly you realize, this is more than a forest. It's a living memory. West Tianmu holds its own secrets. Towering trees stretch toward the sky. and the ground beneath feels sacred. It's said that celestial beings once walked here, blessing the land with beauty that endures. The quiet of the mountain wraps around you, as if every step you take is a return. Guiyuan Temple, nestled in this peaceful haven, invites you to pause. Amidst the ancient walls and serene surroundings, you'll feel the pulse of the past. Here, nature and spirit meet. Some places don't just show you the world, they show you who you are. Will you find yourself in Tianmu Shan? Kaifeng. Kaifeng, a historic city nestled in the heart of Henan Province, is where time itself seems to slow down. Known as one of the 7 ancient capitals of China, its streets whisper the stories of 7 dynasties, each leaving behind architectural wonders, royal relics, and a legacy that captivates visitors to this day. As you wander through Kaifeng's bustling markets, it's hard not to feel the weight of its 2,000-year history pressing in on you. The Iron Pagoda, standing tall since 1049 AD, is perhaps Kaifeng's most iconic structure. Despite its name, the pagoda is not iron, but glazed bricks, and its elegance and intricate carvings transport visitors to a time of majestic dynasties and spiritual devotion. Walking the Kaifeng City Wall, you'll be treated to a stunning view of the city, its historical charm juxtaposed with the vibrant streets below. But it's not just the sights that captivate. It's the living, breathing culture that permeates this city. From the lively Chrysanthemum Festival to the delicious local street food, every experience in Kaifeng tells a story. Ready to step back in time and explore a city where history and culture come alive? Let Kaifeng's ancient streets be your guide and discover a place where past and present seamlessly blend. Taklamakan Desert. What if the desert held the key to ancient secrets? In the heart of China's Xinjiang, the Taklamakan Desert stretches out like an ocean of shifting gold. Known as the Sea of Death, this vast expanse covers 337,000 square kilometers, where towering dunes rise up to 300 meters, their peaks sculpted by the wind. Here, silence isn't empty, it's a storyteller, whispering the forgotten histories of civilizations long lost. Beneath the heat of the day, the desert seems endless. Yet the night brings a transformation. The sky, painted in hues no artist can capture, fills the desert with a quiet energy. Beneath the sand lie the ruins of once great cities, remnants of a time when the Silk Road passed through, connecting the world. But not all is barren. Along the Tarim River, life thrives in hidden oases where the resilient Uyghur people live, connecting past and present with their culture and traditions. The Taklamakan Desert isn't just a place, it's a journey. A place where you confront both the vastness of the world and the depths within yourself. In the desert's silence, you may find your own story waiting to be heard. Khuvsgul Lake. In winter, it transforms into a frozen expanse, inviting adventurers to skate across its smooth, icy surface or trek through snow-covered forests. But beyond its natural beauty, Khuvsgul Lake is a place of deep cultural heritage. The Tsatan people, nomadic reindeer herders, call this land home, preserving a way of life that has lasted for generations. This is not just a destination. It's an immersion into the heart of Mongolia. Will you step into its stories and let the wilderness awaken something inside you? Imagine a place where every corner holds a story, and every story has a lesson. This journey may be over, but the world is full of endless possibilities. We've only scratched the surface, and there's so much more to discover. The next chapter is waiting for you. Join us on our next adventure. Subscribe to Banana Planet TV now and turn on notifications to keep the journey alive. Your next great story is just a click away. Have you ever stepped into a place so untouched, it feels like the earth has kept its secrets just for you? Nestled in the remote heart of Mongolia, Khuvsgul Lake stretches like a sapphire treasure. Its waters so clear that you can gaze down to a depth of 24 meters. Known as the Green Pearl of Mongolia, this pristine lake lies in the embrace of the Yoliin Mountains and surrounded by lush taiga forests, a paradise waiting to be discovered. Every ripple of its waters seems to tell a story that has existed for centuries. As the seasons change, so does Khuvsgul. In the summer, the lake reflects the sky like a perfect mirror, shimmering under the sunlight.